Good morning, you're watching the News Hour on Monday the 22nd of October.
Yes, also this morning, should there be more stop and searches performed on young people? There are fears that those from ethnic minorities will be targeted disproportionately. Let us know your thoughts. Email us, usual place, gm.tv.
And are health and safety rules preventing emergency workers from doing their jobs properly? We'll ask a former senior police officer.
Well, first, it's half-term, certainly down in most of England and Wales. Scotland have their half-terms at different times, of course, so it's bound to be raining, isn't it?
Thanks a lot, Claire. Well, now our top story this morning. Lewis Hamilton's dream of becoming Formula One world champion could still be within reach. That's despite a steward's inquiry confirming Kimi Raikkonen as champion after the Brazilian Grand Prix. Well, Matt Arnold's on the line from Brazil. Des, really, what are the realistic chances that this could be overturned? Is he or isn't he going to be champion? Sour grapes, have they got a real argument here?
A little further in the programme, an intriguing situation. And as Des was saying there, always, it seems, Grand Prix racing surrounded by some kind of controversy or scandal. Here's Priya with the rest of the news.
Thanks, John. Well, Turkey has promised retaliation after an attack on its army by Kurdish rebels based inside Iraq, which left at least 12 Turkish soldiers dead. Chance now that this is going to move into a kind of cross-border conflagration, that the Turks are playing down the fact that it could be imminent, but they have been shelling rebel positions overnight. Well, you're watching the News Hour on GMTV. This morning's headlines. Thanks, John. Well, one of the country's top black police officers, Keith Jarrett, is calling for more young people to be stopped and searched in Britain's fight against violent crime. But some people have voiced concerns that it could lead to racial profiling. Well, in a moment, I'll be speaking to Professor Gus John, an expert on gang culture. But first, we've been out on the streets to see what you think. Well, with me now is gang culture expert and professor. What Keith Jarrett is saying is that the stop and search, he believes, is a useful tool in the search to find out where they're coming from. But he also says the black... They're talking about absolutely random stop and searches, are they? They're talking about random stop and search when they have a rising youth crime problem in Britain. Can be done, because it seems like voices are crying out from all over the place. We have to do something.
Find out how high you...
Stress levels sitting on this sofa.
No, I didn't. Natural environment, yes.
Well, I think it's time to get the weather with Claire. Claire, beautiful weekend. Tell me it's... Good morning. It's 6:29 on Monday, the 22nd of October.
You're watching the News Hour here on GMTV in the next half hour. Thanks very much indeed, Matt.
Now let's get this morning's other top news stories from Priya.
Thanks, Cordelia.
About 21 minutes to 7 is the time. Quick look at the morning papers. Interesting story in the Times. Subscription charges.
In the Daily Mail, do we have room for 21 million more? UK population up to 81 million, they say, by the end of our children's lifetimes. Talking about immigration and also an increase in birth rate. Daily Mirror, swig low. Wills and Harry on a bender with the England rugby heroes, drowning their sorrows, unfortunately. And The Sun, nice try, not talking about the rugby, of course, but Lewis Hamilton failing to become Formula One champion. Although we've been talking this morning, there may still be a chance, and even if he doesn't become, The Sun says, oh well, there's always darts.
Yes, indeed. That's where we're going right now. There is.
Now, Jordan Lyon didn't think twice before jumping into a lake to save his stepsister's life. But the 10-year-old sparked a row over two police community support officers who arrived on the scene but made no attempt to go into the water. As a result, the Tonight with Trevor McDonald programme will look this evening at whether health and safety rules are preventing the emergency services from saving lives. Joining me in the studio is Jordan, that the community support officers were first on the scene for whatever reasons, and they didn't go in. Do you blame the system for that? You know, the official guidelines were telling them, their training was telling them not to go in. OK, well, I think at the moment on the line we have John Stalker.
Come on that, Richard, touring the country, looking at all sorts of people with all sorts of collections. Buses you're here tomorrow, is it? Man collects buses, someone collects buses?
Believe it or not.
Fantastic. Hey, I'd love to know your thoughts this morning on Britain's sort of, well, nearly weekend of sport. That's the headline in The Sun this morning. Nice try. There is the possibility, if you're just joining us, of an appeal going through against the decision to give the World Championship, to Team Mackin. But it's only a possibility. We're so near, yet so far away, weren't we?
It was a disappointing weekend, all in all, eh?
Absolutely. I mean, and I think what we should do is think positive about our sportsmen.
Yeah, at least we were up there. At least we were in with a chance.
Exactly.
Threw
The
it away.
players did a fantastic job. Lewis Hamilton did a fantastic job. He's only 22 years old. To come within 1 point of the World Championship is a remarkable achievement. That's it from the two of us. Ben and Kate along shortly with GMTV Today.
And last year's X Factor winner Leona Lewis will be here performing her brand new single. And the first evictee from the live shows will be in for a chat after 8 too.
But right after the weather, of course, we'll have, right after that, we'll have Claire with the weather.